What's going on, guys? Bengal again here, coming back at you with another video, and this is a dreaded video, as I know that the dislikes will be coming down like hellfire from the angel of death that is my viewer base, because I think their team's not going to go undefeated. Listen, I'm going to be wrong. Things are going to change. Injuries are going to happen. Some teams will outplay other teams. No fans is going to be an interesting one, depending on all this like COVID stuff that who knows like what impact that's going to play. Are home field advantage games going to be as impactful? Like, are the Saints at home going to be as good as they have been? There are a lot of things are going to be impacted here by this disease, sickness, not disease, you know what I mean. This illness, this virus. But we're going to do the best that we can. I think the main goal here is shoot for the order, like best case scenario, because we're going through here game by game, but that's like pretty impossible to predict. So I just want the order of, let's say we're going to start with the NFC North here. I want, you know, if I have it going like Ravens, Steelers, Browns, Bengals, and that's what the order actually ends up being based on like what happens in the season, that's what I'm shooting for. Not, okay, I predicted this team to beat this team, or, you know, the Browns to win 16 games, or, you know, whatever it would be. But go ahead, hit that subscribe button if you're new. We're on the path to 200K, so any subscription helps. You can always, like, you know, unsubscribe if you don't like the content later or whatever. So don't feel stressed about that. But any subscription helps on the path to 200K, so I would definitely appreciate that. And let's go ahead and start with the AFC North. We'll go game by game and see what we're doing here. I think the Ravens are a really good team. I think the Ravens could definitely beat the Browns. It's tough to say, okay, the Ravens are at home, so we'll pick the Ravens there. Again, we don't really know what's going to happen with this home field advantage, though. I'm going to pick the Browns against the Bengals. I think they'll probably split games against the Bengals. I think the Bengals are capable of a win or two this year for sure. I think the Browns are going to beat football team. Football team merch. Link in the description on my merch store. So I'm serious. I think those are kind of funny. I think the Cowboys will win this game. I think the Colts are a decent team as well. I think this will be a close game. I'll pick the Colts, though. Steelers over the Browns. I think that's another team that will split games with the Browns. So we'll go Steelers there. I had the Bengals losing the first game, so we'll have them win this one. The Raiders are an interesting team. I think they're like pretty even with the Browns, honestly, in a lot of ways. Tyrell Williams placed on IR. He's likely done for the year. How much of an impact that'll play, not entirely sure. The Raiders did get better, though. I think I am going to pick the Browns, though. So we're currently 3-5 for the Browns. I think they're going to lose to the Texans. Coming off the bye, maybe not. We'll pick the Browns. I think that could be another close game. I like the Browns, man. I think they're a decent team. But how good are they actually going to be is the question. I think the Eagles will beat the Browns. Eagles are a solid team. Carson Wentz being healthy for a full season could be really, really good. Browns beat the Jaguars. I'm going to say the Browns are capable of beating the Titans before losing to the Ravens. I think they'll beat the Giants. I think they'll beat the Jets. I think they'll beat the Steelers on this little win streak. And then in week 18, the season is so odd this year with 17 games. But I think if they're playing the Raiders in this scenario, and it will change, determining like who wins what. So this actually could end up being different. But we'll go with the Raiders here to beat the Browns, having them finish 9-7, and that is your like what, like technical wild card matchup. So maybe we'll save that because that will change as we move on to the Ravens. And I'm going to be honest with you, I think this is the division winner. I think the Ravens will beat the Texans. I'm going to say they lose to the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to be a really tough team to beat. I think the Ravens will beat football team and the Bengals. I think the Eagles are actually... I think the Eagles are going to do some things this year. As much as I hate them, I think the Eagles are a pretty solid team. I think the Ravens will beat the Steelers. I think that's another set that will split, though. I'll take the Ravens off the bye against the Colts. I think the Patriots will beat the Ravens, even with Cam Newton. I think the Ravens probably beat the Titans, lose to the Steelers here. I think maybe the Cowboys upset. I think they beat the Jaguars and the Giants and the Bengals again. And then we will save the wild card type matchup for later. So the Ravens go 11-5. Steelers probably beat my favorite team, the Giants. Broncos Steelers is going to be an interesting game to watch. We'll probably go Steelers here. I think they probably lose to the Texans, lose to the Titans. Eagles Steelers. We'll go Steelers at Heinz Field. Again, who knows what home field advantage is going to factor in. I'm going to go with the Cowboys here. I'm going to go with the Bengals to beat the Steelers one time. I will save that for the end of the year. Maybe they'll be playing like for a playoff spot. Maybe we'll go with the Bengals, kind of a weird upset here in week 10. Steelers over the Jaguars. I think the Jags are going to be really bad. Steelers over football team. I think maybe the Bills beat the Steelers. I think they beat the Bengals. I don't know about the Colts, man. Colts is interesting. I think they probably beat the Colts and then finish 9-7. I can see that happening. And now on to the Bengals. I think they lose to the Chargers. I think they lose to the Eagles. I think they beat the Jags. Yeah, I think they beat the Jags. I think the Colts beat them. I think the Titans beat them. Football team versus the Bengals would be an interesting matchup as well. You got a pretty good defense, or at least front seven, and especially their defensive line against a rookie quarterback, and not a bad offensive line, but like not a good one either. I think they beat football team, lose to the Giants, lose to the Dolphins, lose to the Cowboys, lose to the Texans. 4-12 for the Bengals. I think that's probably about what they would go. I think they're in the 3 to 5 to 6 win range. I don't really know if they're much better than that. We'll move on into the AFC South now. Texans, I think they lose to the Chiefs. I think they could beat the Vikings. Not positive on that one. They'll beat the Jaguars, maybe. Again, this is all speculation. Who knows? Titans, we'll say, over the Texans. I think the Packers are a team that could compete heavily in the NFC. So we'll pick them over the Texans there. I think they'll beat the Jags coming off the bye. I think they'll probably lose to the Patriots, because I think the Patriots is a team that's going to win like 10 to 12 games maybe. I will take the Texans over the Lions. The Colts is a team I'm up in the air about, because I think they could be quite good or like middle of the pack to bad. They're one that could go either way based on some close games, but maybe we'll go with the Colts there. Did I have them winning the first matchup? Where is the first matchup? Oh, that is the first matchup. We'll take the Colts at home. I'll take the Texans over the Bears, and then the Texans over the Titans. Finish 8-8. I feel like the Texans could be a little bit better than that, though. What is a matchup that could flip-flop? I mean, a lot of these, clearly. And records will change if I change my mind. Maybe the Browns go 8-8, and I have the Texans beating them. So that changes the AFC North. So that's why you got to stay tuned for the end of the video, because records could change. But I think I like the Texans going 9-7 and the Browns going 8-8. I feel like that's a little bit more realistic to what I think could happen. Colts, I think they beat the Jaguars. I think they lose to the Vikings, beat the Jets. How are the Bears going to be? The Bears is another like middle of the pack team for me. I think the Bears could beat them, though. I think they'll beat the Lions coming off a bye, lose to the Titans. I think they will lose to the Packers, beat the Titans at home. Maybe lose to the Raiders. Who are the Jags going to beat, man? The Jags are so bad. And then maybe beat the Jags, finishing 9-7. I mean, that's how I feel like the AFC South is going to play out. All these teams are going to be about the same record. I think the Titans will beat the Broncos. I just don't see the Titans losing the Jags there in week 2. Maybe they'll lose to the Vikings in week 3. Lose to the Bills in week 5. Beat the Bengals coming off the bye. Maybe lose to the Bears. And then beat the Jaguars. Beat the Lions. Lose to the Packers going 8-8. It's like, oh, how do you have the Titans going 8-8 after they made it to the AFC Championship? They snuck into the playoffs and got hot at the right time. I don't think it's too unrealistic to see them going 8-8. The Jaguars right now I have at 1-10. We'll have them beating the Dolphins at home, even though I don't know about that. I think the Lions are a team that could surprise. I think they'll beat the Jags. Shoot, man. The Jags are just... I think they're going to lose every game, which it won't happen. The Jaguars are going to beat some teams. So what changes here? Maybe the Jaguars surprise and open up 1-0. I'm going with a lot of home matchups here. That drops the Colts to 8-8. The Chargers, I think, maybe would lose to the Jags coming off the bye. I think that one could go to the Jags. Packers would beat the Jags. I think the Vikings will beat the Jaguars. And I think the Bears will beat them as well. So 3-13. The Jags are bad. I think that's probably about right. Moving on into the AFC East, we have the Patriots. I think they'll beat the Dolphins, lose to the Seahawks, beat the Raiders, lose to the Chiefs. I think they'll beat the Broncos. 49ers, Patriots going to be a tough one for the Pats to win. I think the 49ers will beat them, even coming off the bye. I think the Patriots will be ready for that matchup, just not able to stop them. I think the Bills will beat them. I think the Patriots beat the Jets. I think they beat the Cardinals, who could be a really high-powered team. I think they beat the Chargers and the Rams and the Dolphins and the Bills. They go on a winning streak near the end of the year. And then maybe they... Oh, man, what game could flip-flop here? The Rams? I don't know. The Patriots are a good team. I think it would probably beat the Jets as well. 12-4 for the Pats. That's a really strong record for them. But I'm looking at their schedule, and it's like... not that difficult of a schedule. They're losing to the teams that probably should beat them. Seahawks, Chiefs, 49ers, Bills. I have them beating the Ravens. Well, we'll keep it like that for now. Move on into the Bills' schedule. I think they'll beat the Jets. Beat the Dolphins. Maybe lose to the Rams in Week 3. I think the Raiders could possibly beat them at home as well. I think the Chiefs will beat the Bills. I think this actually could be a tough matchup, though, on Thursday night. Maybe that's a kind of a crazy game where the Bills beat them. Maybe we'll go Bills there over the Chiefs. The Chiefs are just such a high-powered offense. I'm not sure that the Bills are going to be able to keep up, even with their defense. I think I'm going to go back to the Chiefs there. We'll go Jets to beat the Bills at home. I think the Jets are capable of pulling one out. I think they'll lose to the Seahawks. They could definitely beat the Cardinals. I think they'll beat the Chargers coming off the bye. I think they'll lose to the Niners. Beat the Broncos, beat the Dolphins, finish 9-7. I think they're probably a 10-win team. 9 or 10 wins. Some of these games will obviously flip-flop. We'll see. Jets here I have at 1-5. I think they're going to lose to the Niners, though. I think they could definitely beat the Broncos. The Broncos are a solid team, though. And I don't know if the Jets will be able to match up coverage-wise. I think they could beat the Cardinals at home. I think they could beat the Chargers. I'm not sure how good the Chargers are going to be. But I might go Chargers as well. Lose to the Chiefs. Beat the Dolphins. No, actually, we'll say Dolphins there. And then the Jets will win after the bye at home. Jets could beat the Raiders. Lose to the Seahawks. Beat the Rams 5-11. The Jets are another team, though, that they're not that good. I don't know. I'm a little bit shaky about the AFC East. I bet that's going to be the one that ends up being the most accurate. Chiefs I have at 5-0 right now. They just have such a weird quarterback situation, and that kind of kills them. I'll take the Chiefs over the Chargers. Maybe we'll go with the Broncos at home to beat the Chiefs. I think the Raiders could potentially upset. I think the Chiefs will beat the Panthers. I don't think the Panthers are that good. Coming off the bye, I'll take the Chiefs. Maybe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Get it, Tom Brady? Tampa Bay. Hilarious. Maybe they'll beat the Chiefs. Chiefs beat the Broncos, beat the Dolphins. Maybe lose to the Saints. And then beat the Falcons, beat the Chargers. 12-4. Chiefs are a really solid team. Like I think they're going to be real tough to beat. Raiders will beat the Panthers. Lose to the Saints. Well, I have them. I think maybe they could beat the Buccaneers coming off the bye at home in the new Las Vegas stadium. That'd be fun. I'm going to say the Chargers will probably get a win over them. I don't think the Chargers are going to be one of the worst teams in the league, but I don't think they're going to be that good. I think they probably split games with the Broncos. So I'm going to take the Raiders here. I'm going to take the Falcons over the Raiders. I'm going to take the Raiders over the Chargers. I think they'll split games. I think they'll beat the Dolphins. Right? Did that change? Why did that change? Did I not do the Dolphins? I didn't do the Dolphins schedule. I think the Dolphins could win like, probably 4 games. At the most. I don't know. The Dolphins is a weird team as well. I had the Broncos losing earlier, so we'll take them there over the Raiders. I got to go to the Dolphins real quick. Lose to the Seahawks. Lose to the 49ers. We're the Broncos again. I think they'll lose to the Broncos. I think they could beat the Chargers, honestly. I don't think they beat the Rams. I think the Cardinals win at home, coming off the bye. So Dolphins would finish 4-12, Jets at 5-11. Freaking fly. I think the Dolphins could like win 6 games. I just don't know who they would beat here. The Dolphins seem to have a pretty tough schedule. Like, they have some cupcakes in there with the Jaguars and the Bengals, potentially, and the Jets. But I think some of these games are going to be real tough for them to win. Maybe they don't win more than 4 games. Even though they have improved, they do have a tough schedule. Maybe I'll keep the Dolphins at 4-12. Broncos, I think they lose to the Falcons. Even after the bye. I think the Falcons are a good team. I say that every year and they never are. Maybe the Broncos would beat the Bucks at home. And again, this is subject to change when I see the schedule from the other team. Broncos beating the Chargers. Losing to the Saints. Beating the Panthers. And then beating the Chargers again. How bad do I have the Chargers being? We'll have to see. We'll have to see their schedule here. I'm at 3-9 right now. I think they beat the Panthers, though. Even though I really don't think that. I think the Panthers beat the Chargers. I think the Bucks beat the Chargers. I think the Saints beat the Chargers. Maybe they beat the Falcons. 4-12. There's no way they're that bad. But I know the quarterback situation's so tough. I think they still win like 6 to 7 games. So who could they beat here? I think they could definitely beat the Dolphins, but the Chargers are a team that, again, I feel like they have kind of a tough schedule. I'm not really sure who they would beat here. Maybe the Broncos coming off the bye. I think that makes sense. I'm not sure I would have them going better than 5-11. I like a lot of the players on the Chargers. If they stay healthy, they could be competitive, but that offense there, it's really the lack of a known quarterback kills it. So I guess that's the way my AFC looks right now. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm never going to. As we move on into the NFC, I had the Packers at 4-0. I think they lose to the Vikings to open it up, though. I think the Lions could be sneaky. I think their defense could be the death of them. Maybe we'll go Packers over the Lions. Saints at home, I'm going to take the Packers at home. I think they'll beat the Bucks coming off a bye. I think they'll lose to the Vikings coming off a bye. Do I really have them going 0-2 to the Vikings? I think they'll split games. We'll take the Packers to open up as well. I think they'll lose to the 49ers. Maybe lose to the Bears, even though they're at home. Beat the Eagles. Beat the Lions. Beat the Panthers. Beat the Bears. 12-4 for the Packers. I don't know. How well is Aaron Rodgers going to play? That's going to determine how accurate this is. I think they could maybe split games with the Lions, though. So I'll take the Lions. Drop them to 11-5. Vikings. I'm going to say maybe the Vikings could beat the Seahawks. I can't have the Seahawks going undefeated, man. I just don't think that's going to happen. But are the Vikings going to be their first loss? Maybe. Falcons, I think, could beat the Vikings. I'll take the Vikings over the Lions because I'm going to have them split later. I'll have them lose to... I'll have the Vikings beat the Bears. I think, again, maybe they'll split, but maybe I'll split it there and go Vikings, Bears. Cowboys off the bye. I think they'll beat the Panthers, lose to the Bucks coming off the bye, and then lose to the Saints. Maybe they'll beat the Saints in Week 16. So we'll have them going 9-7. To the Bears, I think they will maybe lose to the Lions to open it up. I think Stafford's going to have a pretty good year. So we'll have to see. I think the Bears can beat the Giants. I think the Falcons can beat the Bears, though. I think the Bucks will beat the Bears. I think the Bears could definitely lose to the Panthers, playing with the Panthers at home. I think the Rams could beat the Bears. Saints maybe will beat the Bears. Bears at home will say beat the Saints, who are an indoor team. We'll go with the Bears over the Lions, and then the Bears finish 8-8. Don't hate that. Lions, I'm going to say lose to the Cardinals. Maybe they beat the Saints. For the Saints' third loss of the season there. I would have, or overall, not in a row. Lions, I'm going to say lose to the Falcons, beat football team, lose to the Panthers, and then lose to the Bucks. Lions finish 6-10. That feels like worse than what they would go. I would give them another win at some point. Maybe they beat the Panthers, finish 7-9. They're in a tough division, man. Who knows what could happen. Moving on into the NFC South, I think the Saints beat the Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers then come back to beat the Panthers. I don't think the Panthers should be that good, but I think they'll probably split games. I think the Bucks beat the Giants. Maybe even beat the Saints. Maybe they'll split games. Bucks over the Rams. I have them at 3-3 right now, but the Rams really disappointed last year. I think the Falcons will split games with the Bucks, so I'll take Falcons and Buccaneers both at home. And then the Bucks go 10-6, sneak into the playoffs. Maybe they wouldn't even. I could see 3 teams from the NFC South actually making the playoffs, as wild as that sounds. I think the Falcons could open up with a win over the Seahawks, to be honest, even though I think the Seahawks are a really good team. Cowboys to beat the Falcons. Falcons over the Panthers. Another team that's capable of a split, though. I mean, a lot of these divisional matchups end up being splits. I'm going to take the Falcons over the Saints coming off the bye. And I think the Saints will beat the Falcons as well. So the Saints there right now 7-5 as we move on to them. The Falcons went 9-7. Saints, I think, beat the Panthers at home coming off a bye. I think they could beat the 49ers as well. 49ers are a solid team, but the Saints are also quite good. I think the Eagles are capable of beating the Saints. And then we'll have... I think the Saints honestly probably beat the Panthers. Panthers right now at 4-10. Saints finished 10-6. And then the Panthers could beat the Cardinals at home. I have all home winners. It won't end up being like that. I think the Panthers can then beat football team. And they finish 6-10. Like that quite a bit. Cowboys right now I have it 6-0 overall. I think they open up the season with a loss. I think they lose to the Seahawks as well. They could definitely beat the Giants. Lose to the Cardinals, beat football team, lose to the Eagles. Lose to the 49ers. That'd be a tough matchup, though. What do I have the 49ers at right now? 6-1? Maybe. I'll have the Cowboys beat the Eagles. I think the Giants are capable of a Week 17 upset. Cowboys finish at 9-6. I think this 49ers-Cowboys game could honestly go either way, just looking at it, gut feeling right now. Maybe I'll pencil in the Cowboys for a win. If I miss a game, why are they only have 16? There's 17 games being played this year. Oh, Week 18. Why am I treating that like it's a bye? Buccaneers, I have a 10-6. No, wait, what the hell? No, it is. Am I missing a game? I am. Week 12. Cowboys over football team, lose to the Niners, 10-6. There you go. Eagles beat football team, lose to the Rams, lose to the 49ers. I think they've had the Giants number over the last years. So I'm going to take them to beat the Giants twice, unfortunately. I'm a Giants fan. I hate that. But the Eagles are pretty good, and the Giants are pretty bad. And they have a good matchup there. I think they will lose to the Seahawks and then beat the Cardinals and then beat football team to finish 9-7. Giants right now I have a 2-8. They'll lose to the 49ers. I think they could beat football team. I think they'll probably lose to the Rams. Football team coming off a bye is capable of beating the Giants. The Giants beating the Bengals. They'll probably lose to the Seahawks. Maybe beat the Cardinals. 4-12. I think the Giants are capable of winning a game or two more than this. But it's like, where are those games going to be? I just don't know. I just don't know right now. I am a Giants fan. I'm usually pessimistic in general. But I have them beating the Cowboys. I think they will go 0-2 against the Eagles, unfortunately. They could sweep football team. Football team's pretty bad. I'm at 1-11 right now. I think they could definitely beat the Giants coming off a bye. Maybe I have the Giants at 4-12. I think that they are capable of winning more games than this. I think they could beat the Browns, maybe. I think they could maybe beat the Rams. We don't know what Rams team we're going to get. I'm going to leave them at 4-12 for right now. That could change. Where I have the Cardinals right now, 4-5. I think they beat, or I think the Cardinals beat football team. I think the Rams beat football team. I think a lot of teams are going to beat football team this year. Football team loses to the Niners, loses to the Seahawks. 1-15. I think they win more games than this. So who do they beat? I think they beat the Bengals at home. Bengals drop now to 3-13. Yeah, I think the Bengals are better than that. I don't know, man. I'm getting too caught up in this. Who does football team beat? I think football team beats the Rams. Whatever. Could happen. This is tough. This is legitimately tough to figure out how I want to work this. 3-13. That feels a little bit more correct. All right. And then on to the NFC West. Who are the Niners going to lose to? Probably not the Cardinals in week 1. I think they split with the Rams. We'll pick the Rams there. Pick the 49ers coming off the bye. 49ers Seahawks going to be an awesome matchup. I think they split games there. We'll take the Seahawks at home. We'll take the 49ers at home. I think the Cardinals are capable of beating the 49ers as well. That makes them 12-4. They were really, really good last year. It'll be interesting to see if they can replicate that again this year. I think the Seahawks beat the Cardinals coming off a bye. I think the Rams could then beat the Seahawks coming off a bye. Seahawks beat the Cardinals again. And then Seahawks beat the Rams. Seahawks finished 12-4. Rams here, we're going to have at right now 8-6. I think they beat the Cardinals and Cardinals beat them. So Rams finished 9-7. I don't hate that. Cardinals at 7-9. I guess I'm comfortable with that. If you guys want to check it out, I have the Ravens, Steelers, Browns, Bengals in the north of the AFC. In the AFC South, Texans, Colts, Titans, Jags. East, Patriots, Bills, Jets, Dolphins. West, Chiefs, Broncos, Raiders, Chargers. NFC North, I have the Packers, Vikings, Bears, Lions. Very close division. Same thing in the South, pretty much, except for the Panthers. Saints, Bucks, Falcons, Panthers. In the East, Cowboys, Eagles just missed the playoffs in this, which, I don't know. I feel like the Eagles could definitely be a playoff team, but there are a lot of teams that are close. So, Eagles, Giants, football team. And then we have the Seahawks, 49ers, Rams, Cardinals. In this, the 49ers would be a 5 seed at 12-4. Wild. So I guess we'll go in the divisional here and pick winners. So, or wild card would be first, clearly. We'll take the Bills to beat the Texans, Ravens to beat the Steelers, Patriots to beat the Colts. I'm going to take the 49ers over the Saints, who might even deal Alvin Kamara. I probably did a video about that yesterday if you want to check that out on the channel. Maybe 2 days ago, depending on when I do it and when I upload this. I think the Buccaneers will send the Cowboys out early. I think the Packers will beat the Falcons. That is my wild card. Into the divisional, I'm going to take the Ravens over the Patriots. I'm going to take the Chiefs over the Bills. I think the Packers could beat the Niners. I think the Packers are going to be a solid team. And then I have the Seahawks over the Buccaneers. In the championship game, I'm going to take the Seahawks over the Packers. And then I'm going to take the Chiefs over the Ravens. These are going to be really fun games if this were to happen like that. And then in the Super Bowl, I am going to take the Chiefs again. I know it's kind of weird to pick the Super Bowl winner from last year, but I just don't see Patrick Mahomes regressing all that much. I don't see the Chiefs playing too poorly. I think everyone on that team is really taking a step up. I think they've only gotten better. They're going to have Juan Thornhill healthy. They have Tyrann Mathieu. They brought in Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the first round. Their offense could be even more dynamic somehow. So those are my predictions. I know you're going to disagree with them heavily. It is the way that this goes. Every team can't win the Super Bowl. Only one of them can. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe if you're new. Take it easy.